All right, I say welcome back to you, and yeah, right. You say welcome back to me. Welcome back from the dead, back to the living. It was an Easter resurrection experience. It was a whole Paschal experience. I died, I lived, I died, and now I rose again. So, um, no, near the doctor could tell Diana, who is the most generous person I know, shared her virus, and that turned into bronchitis for me, and then I got COVID on top of it. So that's why I was sick so long. But yeah, testing negative long enough, I don't have to wear a mask anymore, and just a little bit of a residual, but not too bad. Um, so I know things went as planned in my absence, and that's supposedly the mark of good leadership, that the leader goes down and things still function well. So we'll call it that, right? It's really teamwork, is what it is. And kudos to Diana; she hadn't done that one before, and I thought I might be able to do that one, and by then, and I still tested negative. I said, I'm really not supposed to be here. And she goes, okay, go over it real quick for me. She did well, right? I watched it, and she talked about me too. I noticed. It's all on record. All right. What I'd like to do to begin with tonight, um, both for the how engaging this is and for the interaction, but also to really cement in your mind how important it is if you really want to be prepared to enter into the Sunday liturgy in a way where you are fertile soil, then pray at least the gospel beforehand. So that's what we're going to do. And we've done that periodically. We're going to do a little Lectio Divina. But did anybody bring their Bible? I see a Bible here. Yeah, look at that, Robert. That means you get to read. You ready? Let me get you the. Here we go. Okay. Would you look up John chapter 14? And then if you come up to the microphone, you're going to read verses 1 through 6. Anybody else that wants to look on their phone or look up on in their Bible, that's John, the Gospel of John, chapter 14, verses 1 through 6. That'll be the gospel for this Sunday. So as Robert's getting ready, anybody remember what the gospel was last Sunday? The vine and the branches. Very good. How about the Sunday before that? Okay. Shepherd. Very good. So if you happen to be at a mass where Father Leon was preaching, he referred to both of them in his homily. He started off by saying, "Oh, these great images. We had the good shepherd. How many of you know a shepherd?" And nobody raised their hand, and everybody laughed. Of course, it's a or Mary does, but it's a not a common experience for us now. But then he said, "How many of you are familiar with a vine and how a vine grows?" Everybody knows that, right? So that was an easier image to enter into. So they are progressive throughout this season of Easter. So we go from the Good Shepherd to I'm the vine, you are the branches, and now the gospel that Robert will read. Chapter 13, verses 14.
Now I'm nervous. All right, chapter 4. Everybody hear me? Chapter 14, verse 1 through 6. Do not let your hearts be troubled. You have faith in God. Have faith also in me. In my Father's house there are many dwelling places. If there were not, would I have told you that I'm going to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back again and take you to myself, so that where I am, you may also be. Where I am going, you know the way. Thomas said to him, Master, we do not know where you are going. How can we know the way? Jesus said to him, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me.
Raise your hand if that's the first time you've heard that gospel. Really? It's a common gospel that could be selected and read at what? Funeral mass, yeah. Very commonly read at a funeral mass. So again, for Lectio Divina, remember you read it just for content to remind yourself of a passage that you've probably been exposed to before. Now we read it a second time slowly. And what do? You've done Lectio before. What are you doing in Lectio as you're listening that second time? Not reflecting yet, listening, right?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to pray very briefly a prayer asking God to place his word upon our heart. And so you're listening for a word or a short phrase. If you're artistic, it could be a visual image. What is God saying to you? What in this reading does he want to connect to your life personally? Okay. Then once you've had that experience, then we'll do the reflection. And then we'll have a chance to share at our tables. Okay. So again, a reading from John's Gospel. Jesus said to his disciples, "As the Father loves me, so I also love you. Remain in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and remain in his love. I have told you this so that my joy may be in you and your joy might be complete. This is my commandment. Love one another as I love you. No one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. I no longer call you slaves, because a slave does not know what his master is doing. I have called you friends, because I have told you everything I have heard from my Father. It was not you who chose me, but I chose you and appointed you to go and bear fruit that will remain, so that whatever you ask the Father in my name, he may give you. This I command you: love one another. I forgot to pray beforehand, but normally we would pray something along the lines of, Lord, open my heart. Place your word upon my heart. Connect my life to your word. And this is only six verses, not the shortest, but not the longest by any stretch. But it is packed with so much. Does anybody need me to read it a third time? Just there was so much in there. Or did everybody get a word or a phrase or an image? Anybody want it or need it read a third time? Okay. Now we pray again. And then the silent reflection. And after that time, we'll have a chance to share what we want to share with each other about how God's speaking to us personally. Father, you promise your Son to us, and you deliver on that promise. And he comes to us in so many ways, in word and in sacraments. We're grateful for the word you've placed upon our hearts. Now, in your language of silence, help connect our life to why this word is so meaningful for you that you want to place it on our hearts at this time. Now, as you sit in silence, remember sometimes it helps just to kind of go through the day, maybe the last few days through the week, and see what's happening in your life, how you met Jesus, how you met challenges, how you met joys, and see how that connects to your word. We'll have a few minutes of silence. Looks like we have 5 or 6 at the table. That's a perfect group. Take a moment and listen to each other's word. And the way that you feel, the reason why that word resonates in your heart, what's going on in your life, you think Jesus is beginning to speak to you. And then again, like good Lexio, keep that word in mind for the rest of the week. Continue to go to it. It's like feeling the layers of an onion. Getting to the heart of it. Meaningful, but peeling back layers until you get to the maybe a Tootsie Pop is better.
What this is, so I'm actually a little confused because what I read was different. Oh, we. Hey, you got like utterly confused. You want to show them that challenge? Yeah. But they were so. A little bit. Okay, I gave you. It's chapter 15.
How many people noticed we actually read 2 different passages? I gave him the wrong one. So the one I read was the correct one. For this Sunday. Not gonna talk about what happens. Hey. So, we're gonna go back to public. I wrote the whole laying down your life. Well, actually. So. What was the? Well, I mean, besides the fact that. I mean, cause my whole thing up until like, it's always been, I always want to be in control. I feel like, you know, up until I started RCIA,